What's up, guys? I'm Nick Einsman, aka Nick of Time. About to go jump out of a plane. What better way of doing it than wearing an IWC Big Pilot? By the way, giving away $1,000 to one lucky winner who likes, comments, and subscribes to this video. Gray market, baby.
My name's Denis. I am the newest hire here at Luxury Bazaar. I moved here from California about 2-3 months ago. And out there I got involved, I lived in Los Angeles, so I was involved in the entertainment industry a little bit. And then I transitioned into a different industry working for a growing company. Before I got here, the company combined their customer service and sales. So you would have seen Alex, Nick doing a lot of things that I'm now transitioning to customer service so that those guys can focus on sales a little bit more. And it's been going great so far. We're getting there step by step.
I have an update on things here.
I've been cooking up some pretty good ideas. It's been hectic. So now my goal is to just convince Roman that this is how we should be doing them.
We're a very lean startup, and I could see how that's been working for the current setup, but I do see us scaling, going from $100 million to a $300 million company. And to do that, I'd like to take some of my past work experience and help you build the departments that we need.
So, the model walks into my office. I had a conversation with him prior. This was actually our second meeting. And in the first meeting, I came to him and I said, look, you have all this experience doing customer service. What are you going to do for me as far as I'm concerned? And the idea was for him to set up a true customer service / sales department. Of course, the outcome of that is going to be that my salespeople are going to have a lot more time to sell, and I'm going to have a dedicated customer service department that will not only take some of the aggravation away from the salespeople, but at the same token, create for a better customer experience.
When we hired you officially as a customer service representative, obviously we knew you were overqualified, and I was kind of waiting for this conversation to come up, but I wanted you to have a look and see what we have. Now, mind you, it was a predominantly wholesale company that went to completely balls out retail, lots of exposure based on what's gone on YouTube. We brought you in because we're going to start to drown soon, and the growth is outweighing our customer service / sales capabilities. So
perfect.
What do you got?
Okay. I didn't know that was already in your mind. That's good to know. I thought I was just here to do
we
like.
didn't hire you for your pretty face. So
okay.
Let's keep going.
It's the first time I heard that.
Yeah, I used to be a model.
Sexy and I know it.
One look.
There it is. Magnum.
I've noticed there's a lot of crossover between what would traditionally be a customer service role or duty or process, and it's currently being handled by our sales team. How do you feel about separating that and kind of actually creating like an official CS department to handle this pool of tasks? So then guys like Alex and Nick can get off of eBay, get off of First Dibs, and just, focus on sales.
I'm perfectly fine with that. Here's how I approach things such as this, right? So you came on with hella customer service experience. You made it very clear that you're not looking to get into sales.
Did you just say hella?
Yes. You
Nice.
like that? Hella? If I can get an imaginary person, now let's imagine for a second that it's you, to manage. You can manage the entire process from a systems perspective and a process perspective. That's exactly what I would want to see from you. You hit it on the nail, and I think way ahead. So separating customer service from sales and having somebody at the helm managing that and making decisions on a daily that will make the salespeople life easier, at the same token take care of any and all customer service issue and spread the wealth and figure out a way to get this done, and you can present that to me at the end of this week.
Okay, I will talk to you soon then.
Parkour.
That just doesn't look right.
The time has pretty much come for me to tell the boys that I'm going to be managing, or at least building processes for the sales team now. They've kind of been used to working directly under Roman and Adrian's wing, and I figured a few drinks might help them absorb this new piece of information.
This is Anna's first time outside the office ever. I've never seen you go to lunch. I've never seen you I've never even seen you eat lunch. We usually keep her in a cage downstairs.
Anna doesn't eat lunch. I've never once seen her eat anything outside of her stealing salads from my lunchbox.
So we are trying to split up responsibilities between, because it's been kind of just sales and CS as the same animal. Now we want to take away responsibilities that don't really make sense for you guys and put them with the new CS person that we're going to hire, so that you guys can focus more on like your social media posts and getting sales and creating leads and following up with those leads.
Same time, I might actually hire a social media manager to manage all of our social media.
Yeah. So we want to, it's to make your lives easier, honestly.
Denis comes in, 2 weeks in, he has some new ideas that he wanted to bring to the table. At Luxury Bazaar, everyone is very open to each other's ideas, so it was pretty cool that he stepped up to the plate and brought some new ideas to the team. Pretty excited to see what he comes up with.
It's always a challenge to put in new systems and put in new systems into play, especially when you've been doing something for, a year a certain way, and transitioning into something new. But I think that Denis definitely put the right foot forward and is putting in the right systems into place that will make not only our lives easier, but customer service and as a whole, a hell of a lot easier.
Zendesk agent is so often somebody asking about a buy or a sell.
It's Alex. Get back over here. Alex, get off your phone. Come on. This is a meeting. This is a recorded meeting, and you're just f***ing up the entire video here by getting up and walking away.
Sorry, you guys are to pick up his watch.
Okay, I understand, but now you're back. Sit down. We're recording this. Don't put that on there.
Oopsie.
We need to put all the on our socials because the traditional way of hiring people is definitely not working.
I can't wait to see the people that come in.
It's
Set up an interview for tomorrow.
I know. I'm very excited. I hope she works out.
That went really well the first time.
The first 2 times.
It was
The first 2 times.
I mean, look, I don't know if this should be on video, but never mind.
Why?
Doesn't matter.
Say it.
I was gonna say, culturally, I could see why hiring might be kind of difficult compared to like a traditional American startup.
It is not.
It is not.
My thoughts on the company culture, well, I'll put it this way. The Eastern European culture is much, much different than the California culture.
What are you talking about?
Have you ever had a meeting where Gary walks in and starts just screaming or at something completely different in the meeting?
What are you talking about?
Comes in, sits down, lights a lighter up, and just starts asking me questions about stuff like "Kto это?" which is who is that in Russian? I'm like, she's right here. I'm talking to her. There's some funny shit that happens, but it definitely makes it weird and not something that people are used to.
Clash of cultures here is very interesting. I think the biggest clash of cultures that we have is a lot of the new hires here. They always think that we're arguing and screaming at each other, where in fact we're discussing the weather or sports. Yeah, it gets a little weird.
What are you talking about?
For those of you guys that watched the season finale of Gray Market 2, you guys know that we threw a ridiculous party and invited 200 random YouTube followers to our live season finale. One of those YouTube followers that got the golden ticket, as we like to call it, was a gentleman by the name of Josh Town, who actually runs a small YouTube channel called The Town Watch. You guys check him out when you get a chance. He did a whole video on what happened. But in a nutshell, he was talking to another client of mine who happened to be at the party. They got to talk about watches. Client A happens to be extremely well off, was wearing a 5711 green dial with a baguette bezel. Today's market value probably close to $1 million, right? While this gentleman was talking to him about his Grail watch, how he's been saving up for a Cartier Santos medium. Long story short, client A decided to say, you know what, Josh? You seem like a hell of a guy. Would you please not be offended and allow me to purchase that watch for you? Now, Josh turned him down numerous times, but my client wouldn't hear it. He reached out to me and said, I want you to get out there, buy this guy this watch, and hand it over to him because he happens to be local to you.
Here we go. Man, I'm just blown away. The story, man, behind this is how this happened. It's crazy. There it is. That's a beautiful watch.
Yeah.
Man.
Alex, what's the history on the Santos, Alex? Yeah, don't touch
I hate when he
Don't
does
embarrass yourself.
I didn't. I forgot to study.
It feels crazy, man. I can't believe it. It's great.
Beautiful watch, man. Congrats.
I'm blown away.
It was nice to sit with Josh. He brought over another one of his friends. He also does watches on YouTube. I'll link that channel below as well. They did a little vlog. I showed him around. Alex showed him around. We handed him the watch, and he walked away one happy camper.
It's unboxing time.
For those of you guys that follow me on Instagram, you know I do my morning unboxings of the stuff that comes into the office. We recorded that as a part of our episodes back on Gray Market Season 1, but it became kind of redundant, more of the same thing. At the same token, you guys complain that I don't do the watch on my desks anymore. I figured out the Q&A part of it. I substituted with podcasts that you guys have been downloading. Thank you for that. But the watch porn, the watches, the close-up, the sweet, juicy shots of these ridiculous watches that I get, that kind of went MIA. So what I decided to do is to include sort of a mini what's on my desk in hopefully every episode of Gray Market. So I don't know how many of you guys remember this, but hello everyone and welcome to another edition of What's on My Desk. Except this time we're not going to call it What's on My Desk, we're going to call it Unboxing. I'm going to quickly run through what I brought today. Again, this came from some of the unboxings that we did earlier in the week. I'm sure you guys saw that. I'm going to start with the biggest, baddest, the probably most expensive modern day Rolex to date, and that's going to be the Rolex Rainbow Daytona. Right? What can be said about this watch? So this is the rose gold version, the full pavé version. And by full pavé, I mean it's got the bracelet pavé, it's got the lugs pavé, obviously the dial, as well as the rainbow bezel. And a ridiculous amount of money is being fetched for this watch. But the reason I wanted to bring it is I wanted to talk to you about rare modern Rolexes. What do I get out there and collect? Roman, what are the sleepers? This is the questions that you guys are always asking me. I know the original ones when they came out, just the ones with the dial and the bezel, the retail was $83 and change thousand. I think this one is somewhere around $160,000 to $170,000. And again, it trades over $600,000. Absolutely insane. But this is the modern Rolex to have. This is the rarest modern Rolex out there today as far as I'm concerned. Not many are being made. And speaking of which, if you're gonna collect these Rolexes, if you're gonna get out there and say, oh, I want something rare, you can go backwards and find some of the older sleepers, or you can stick with the modern guys. Case in point, here's a modern day Rolex which can be picked up within a reasonable price. It's under $70,000. But if you look at other precious metal presidents out there with funky dials, stone dials like this one, you'll be hard pressed to find anything under $100,000. The reason you're able to pick this guy up slightly cheaper today is because it's 36 millimeters, but don't sleep on this guy. If you want to go backwards, Pearlmasters have not been getting love for a long time, but they're slowly but surely starting to creep up. So what do you look for? You look for a combination such as this. Platinum, baguette bezel, baguette mother of pearl dial. Why do you look for something like this? Why the baguette bezel? Why go up in price? This watch trades around 100 grand, slightly under, because not many of these were made. I told you guys before, whoever tells you how many of a particular Rolex was made is lying to you. Nobody knows. Rolex doesn't share that information. There are no limited editions. So you have to use common sense, and common sense will tell you is that A, gem set watches are made in the least amounts per watch. The reason for that is because not a lot of guys or girls out there that will put these watches on. Therefore, the demand is not there. It's pretty obvious there's a lot more steel subs out there. There are gem encrusted watches such as these. You can also go backwards and look for pieces such as this. Recently, you saw in an auction in Dubai, the brother and sister to this watch. This is part of the Royal Collection. It's an Oysterquartz, which is sold for $121,000. Again, around that $100,000 price range, the honeycomb dial Oysterquartz from the Royal Collection. Again, not many of these were made because they were made for the royal family, right? Hence it was called the Royal Collection. It was made for royalty. How many do you think these were made? If they mass produce these things, guess what? It wouldn't be as appealing. There are various variations out there if you go backwards of older presidents in the 36 millimeter size, such as this guy. The last auction results on this guy was around $85,000 or $75,000. Difference was that one also had the diamond bracelet. I prefer to find these things without the diamond bracelets because I find them to be a bit more appealing, where the attention is on the dial, on the bezel, and on the case, and it doesn't take away from the watch overall. Something like this today, I think, trades in just under $70,000, complete with box and papers. Again, a watch that you will not find elsewhere. go out there and literally put in Google Rolex with diamonds, right? Make sure it's not aftermarket, obviously, and see what you see least of, right? Or go out to forums where they talk about gem encrusted Rolex to see how rare there are. Rule of thumb is that if you can't find a second one, it's a pretty rare watch. It's got a great potential for collecting. Again, not an investment, as I always say, but a great potential for collecting if something like this appeals to you. Speaking of collecting, what drives me mad, and I've been talking about this over and over and over, is the 5711, but this is not the 5711. The stainless steel 5711 has gotten out of hand. I'm not even going to talk about the green one. I'm going to talk about the blue one. Over $100,000 for a brand new one. We sold a pre-owned 5711 the other day for $102,000. So why in the world would you not go out and pick up the original, which pretty much looks the same? The 3700, the OG that Gerald Genta made back in 1973 for Patek, because the owners were in love with the boats and this looks like a porthole and blah, blah, blah. You guys know the story. But the bottom line is that these things are trading anywhere from $140,000 to $160,000. Depending on condition, how complete they are, whether they have the cork box or not, whether they have papers or not. And again, it's all about condition and condition. Something like this, I think, trades around 145 in the condition that it's in. But you do know for a fact, logic will tell you there were a lot less of these made back in the 70s than there are of the modern 5711 today in its various colors, forms, combinations, metals, and dials, right? So again, another sleeper. You will see these things go north of 200 fairly shortly because there are less and less of them out on the market. They're not getting destroyed. They're just being bought up and kept by collectors, and that's how they disappear off the market, while the 5711 is still being produced, right? Maybe next year they'll do a red dial and it'll go for $700,000. Who knows, right? Speaking of brands of sleepers, and I talked to you guys about Lange. I've been pushing Lange for the last couple of months. I've been discussing it. I've been telling you about it. The Lange is going to be the next FP Jour, and I said it, bold statement. I've told you guys before, I'm not afraid to come out and say all these things, and the reason for that is because I somewhat can't foresee the future, and when I believe in something, I invest in it. I only brought one of probably about 60 or 70 Langes that I have in stock today. I brought what, in my mind today, would be my favorite pick, and I really wanted to show it to you, and that is the Zeitwork, and not just any Zeitwork. This is the Zeitwork Striking Time. I absolutely love the Zeitwork Striking Time. Obviously, I love the functionality of the Zeitwork overall, right? Sort of that digital display. But I also love the fact that this thing chimes, right? It's the little things, as they say. Lange in general is a sleeper. This guy is still slightly under $100,000. See me in 6 months, you'll probably be paying way over $100,000. I see this watch going to $125, maybe even $150. Again, Lange is a sleeper overall. Pretty much any Lange out there, you cannot go wrong. What do you pick? Go for models that have been discontinued. Go for limited editions, which they have made. You cannot go wrong there. If you like Lange, you want to enjoy Lange, and you want to make not an investment, but a smart buy, put your money into a Zeitwork, put your money into older models that have been discontinued, as well as limited editions. Speaking of bang for your dollar, what else? I brought Frank Muller. That's right, I said Frank Muller. And most of you guys, oh my God, Frank Muller is crap. No, Frank Muller is not crap. I remember the days where Frank Muller was it. I mean, you could compare Frank Muller back then to what Richard Mille is today, right? However, fell off a little bit. There were some issues with him selling, not selling. He's now completely sold the company and he's hanging out in the villa in Thailand. I noticed because I had a customer over here today who owns a villa right next door to him. Rumor has it he's drunk by 12 p.m. and he's enjoying life, which I absolutely love. He deserves it because indeed, when he set himself to be the master of complications, he is the master of complications. And you know what? How many of you guys can get out there and get a beautiful looking tourbillon such as these two under $70,000, both in rose and in blue? I honestly absolutely love the Gravity Turbs from Frank Muller. I think it's a nice large size watch for those that like large watches. I think it's a lot of bang for your dollar, and I still believe that Frank Muller, when it comes to complications and when it comes to bang for your dollar, is the place to be. And a lot of his modern stuff such as this is an absolute unbelievably looking watch. It wears great, it keeps great time, and it's a beautiful watch overall. So that's going to conclude my mini version of what's on my desk. I'll see you guys in the next episode of Gray Market.
Yo, where is Nick at?
Jesus Christ!
Some of you guys have commented that we don't show the jewelry side of the business too often. You guys want to see more Alex and Gary. Well, this particular day, we went out to New York. I had to deliver a watch to a client, and Alex and Gary went to do a little bit of jewelry shopping.
What's up, man?
How are you? Everything
Slavo
good?
Bobo, Slavo Bobo.
Like it? You?
It's a black opal. Well,
You don't have to buy everything we show you.
Your hand is good, so whatever you guys pick, we're good.
Listen, by the same token, your hand is good. Light hand for us is very important. We are strong believers in the light hand, meaning that whatever we buy from a certain person, it sells fast at a good profit. That means that person has a light hand, in our understanding.
very expensive. This one is not worth it. It's not worth it. It's not worth it. Cheap. This is cheap. This is expensive. It's cheap, rough, expensive. Rubies are crazy, man. This one is not that crazy, actually.
If you see anything you don't like, you'll just take it out. It doesn't matter. No. That's not for us.
Rob, how much is this?
That's expensive.
My phone is ringing over there. Oh, no.
We might be back on Friday. We're still deciding.
Friday, you guys
You're not
are
going to
open?
be here Friday, are you? You will be here?
Yeah.
Okay.
This is a good seller.
Which one?
This, you see this?
I would take a couple.
Couple, yeah, because they're all the same.
yeah,
If we have
take a
different,
couple just
no, if we have
try.
different styles, then
Sure,
it's
why
okay.
not make it in white gold? I see the goods are yellow, I understand.
Yellow gold is popular now.
360, it's not 380. Honey, it's 360, not 380, please. No problem, no problem. I love you anyway.
Thank
You know that. You know that.
I know.
You know that.
It's okay, don't worry. This is junk, this is
Leftovers.
this is history.
This is leftovers.
History like me.
Leftovers. Are you gonna be here Friday or no?
Friday I'm gonna be here. I'm gonna come to see you on Friday. Okay?
Well, that didn't go over so well. They ended up selling a few things. They didn't buy a whole lot, so you know what? Let me go buy some shit. Who made it, brand new?
We bought it.
How much?
98.
Why do I have 85 in my head, Adil? Selling them is not easy. Me and you are the only people that can actually sell them. 9? Fine.
To close one deal, okay.
Okay, let's count it. It's a good start. The shoot complete. Rose gold with the stick diamonds.
Plastic crystal.
Yeah.
Yeah, why not?
For both.
Langes, I'm not so.
Okay, so give me the best on both. I'll take both. It's fair.
I didn't say it's not.
It's fair. It's a fair offer. It's a fair offer. I'm not robbing you. You're making money.
I told you the other one was a better deal.
Yeah, but it has no box. No
I think it does better with Adrian here.
Yeah, it's all good.
okay.
Nah, I'm just joking.
Adrian couldn't come with me because he was delivering an important RM to a client in Philadelphia, and his setting was a bit nicer than mine, let's just say.
It's a flying brick. We're heading downtown to Philadelphia today. We normally don't visit Philadelphia, which is a couple miles south of us, because we don't have that many big clients in Philadelphia, but we had one client that actually wanted to come to Philadelphia and join us at John George's on the top of the Four Seasons. So shout out Four Seasons for a sick meal. So what we're seeing here is a Richard Mille RM1103 NTPT deal happen with our client. And a lot of the times when clients buy Richard Milles, actually most of the time, there's always some type of trade-ins that come in, because when you're spending $500,000 on a watch, it's a big chunk of change. So if you have some inventory that you're not wearing, it's always good to trade it in and free up that cash.
Do it again? Oh yeah. You only have that split second of like, oh shit, as you fall out of the plane.
I'm gonna go rip the boys a new one because looking at their sales for the month, I see them selling nothing but hot stuff. It's on. I'm gonna rip them a new one.
What national
Around.
What are you smiling at? There's no reason why in the week you can't move 3 million. Let's go. What's up?